that was incredible. The first ever IONIQ 5N tearing up the track at Laguna Seca with Hyundai TCR racing driver Mason Filippi. Now, that is just a small taste of what you're going to see at the end of this very special edition of Hyundai Showroom Walkaround. So you're going to want to stick around to watch the thrilling finish. Hi, everyone. I'm Jesse, your product specialist and host. And if you have not already heard of the IONIQ 5N, then you're in for a treat, because this is the first ever electric vehicle from Hyundai's high performance N brand. With over 600 horsepower, a long list of N performance features derived from our track experience with the Elantra N TCR race car and our partnership with Bryan Herta Autosport, the 5N really excels at extreme driving like no other production Hyundai before. Now, speaking of Bryan Herta Autosport, we are so lucky to have with us here the man himself, team owner and racing legend Bryan Herta, to tell us what he thinks about driving the IONIQ 5N. Bryan, welcome to Hyundai Showroom Walkaround.
Thank you, Jesse. I am honored to be here again to talk about this incredible machine that we've got. It's really special what they've done with the 5N, because this is an absolute beast to drive. And with so many customizable N modes, you can make it exactly what you want.
Now, Bryan, I really agree with you. I think Hyundai nailed it with the IONIQ 5N, but I have to ask you, our racing expert, can an electric vehicle be a true performance car? Like, can it be really fun to drive and also handle its own on the track?
Absolutely. And I can't wait to show you why.
Awesome. All right, let's take a look at what makes IONIQ 5N such an amazing car to drive, starting with the heart of every EV, its battery and electric motor. Now, IONIQ 5N has an 84 kilowatt hour battery plus a dual motor all-wheel drive system, combining to produce up to an incredible 601 horsepower.
While that's impressive, it gets even better, because when you activate N-Grin Boost, you get up to 641 horsepower for 10 seconds.
Wow, 641 horsepower. That's really saying something, Bryan. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that no one thought that a production Hyundai would be capable of power output like that.
That's right. Hyundai's come a long way, and that's just scratching the surface of its performance, because IONIQ 5N has some track features trickled down from our Elantra N TCR race cars.
All right, let's take a look at some of those features, starting with N-Grin Boost, which you previously mentioned. Now, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
It's an overboost feature that adds additional torque and quickens motor response for up to 10 seconds. This gives you maximum acceleration for long straightaways or when you want to pass another driver.
I bet you did a lot of that back in your racing time. Now, there's also N-Launch Control. How exactly does that work, Bryan?
Well, this can preload torque at the wheels and driveline to give you maximum acceleration from a standing start.
And how fast can it go with launch control?
It'll do 0 to 60 in about 3.25 seconds with N-Grin Boost and N-Launch Control engaged. This will really help you get a great start on your lap.
Wow, 3.25 seconds. That's incredibly fast. And finally, we have N-Race. Now, this is going to help maintain consistent battery power for track driving. There's two modes: Sprint, with no power limits in that N-Grin Boost available, and Endurance, which increases track range by modulating power.
And these help you optimize the IONIQ 5N for your track day.
Now, there are also a number of N features that really help with high-speed handling and maneuverability, starting with N torque distribution. Now, this is going to let you select how you want the torque divided between the front and rear axles. There are 11 ratios, ranging from 100% front to 100% rear, and everything in between.
And each ratio provides its own distinct driving characteristics, so you can set up the car exactly how you want.
Up next, N-Drift Optimizer. Now, when you're ready to get sideways on the track, N-Drift Optimizer dials up the ideal torque distribution for smoother, more controlled drifting.
That's right. You get all-wheel drive for maximum acceleration when you're going in a straight line. Then all that torque is routed to the rear axle around the corners when you want to kick the back end out and have some fun.
Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun right there, Bryan. We also have electronic limited slip differential. Now, this is going to actively distribute torque to the outer rear wheel when turning.
This helps to maximize cornering speeds and traction while helping to reduce understeer, especially when you're driving at the limit.
And finally, N pedal. Now, Brian, you're our racing expert. I'll let you take this one.
Sure, it takes advantage of the car's regenerative braking for quicker weight transfer and a sharper turn-in response.
I love all of that. Now, if you thought that's all that IONIQ 5N has to offer, well, this vehicle has a few more tricks up its sleeve to make the most out of your time at the track. This includes high-performance brakes, 15.7-inch front brake rotors with 4 piston monoblock calipers in that distinctive luminous orange color and N logo design.
These provide enhanced heat endurance and braking performance on the track, which lets you brake later in the corners, and you keep your momentum up for longer.
You're also going to get active air flaps. This is a reinforced track-capable cooling system that opens and closes to optimize cooling versus aerodynamics. And finally, track SOC, or state of charge. Again, Brian, I'm going to let you handle this one.
Well, it's designed to help you enjoy more time at the track without worrying about range anxiety. It works by automatically calculating battery consumption per lap at select racetracks all over the country.
Wow. Now, it really seems, Brian, that Hyundai thought of everything when it comes to the IONIQ 5N. In fact, you can even simulate the sound and feel of driving a traditional gas-powered car. With N Active Sound Plus, you can simulate the sound of an engine and exhaust system. There are 3 different settings: ignition, which simulates a traditional 2-liter turbocharged engine; evolution, for a more futuristic sound; and Brian, my absolute favorite, supersonic, which actually was inspired by the sound of fighter jets. Now, there's also going to be NE shift, which simulates transmission shifting. Now, shift patterns are differentiated by drive mode. You can choose to drive in auto or manually shift using the paddle shifters. And shift feel is also differentiated with upshifts and downshifts, and it even simulates rev matching. Finally, sound is matched with the simulated gear that you're in.
Well, along with the N Active Sound Plus, NE Shift really emulates the sound and feel of a traditional gas vehicle. It even mimics bouncing off a limiter if you rev it to the simulated red line.
Wow, I can't wait to experience that. Now, with also multiple drive modes available, you can really dial in your own personal performance experience. You're going to have Eco, Normal, and Sport, N mode that's track ready, and 2 fully customizable drive settings.
The customizable drive settings let you set up the car exactly how you want. And with 2 settings, you can choose one for the track and one for the road.
All right, Brian, I'll let you take the track. I'll take the road on that one. Brian, I think it's about time that we take a look at IONIQ 5N's aggressive exterior design, which has quite a few upgrades over the standard IONIQ 5. Starting in the back, you'll see an extended rear roof spoiler with race-inspired triangular auxiliary brake light, and exclusive rear air vent outlets, and an aggressive rear diffuser.
These work together to help reduce lift and provide downforce as your speed increases, helping the car be more stable.
Now, one thing, Brian, that I love that's carried over from the standard IONIQ 5 is the parametric pixel pattern in the brake lights. Now, you'll also see a pixel design in the rear bumper, but for the 5N, it's a checkered flag pattern, paying tribute to its racing-inspired design. You'll also notice a luminous orange strip that runs along the bottom all around the vehicle with vertical accents in the front and back.
Well, Jesse, you know I'm all about that checkered flag, and these give it a very racy look, similar to our TCR race cars.
And then there's the N badge. Now, N is getting more and more known for hardcore performance, deriving its name from both Namyang, the city in South Korea where our R&D center is located and where Hyundai N was born, and Nürburgring, that famous German test track where N cars are honed.
The Nürburgring is one of the most challenging tracks that exists anywhere on the planet, so the fact that this car was developed around that tells you everything you need to know about its heritage.
That is absolutely incredible. Now, moving to the side, it gets special 21-inch N alloy wheels, forged for lightweight and high strength, and wrapped in Pirelli P0 summer performance tires.
And I can tell you, these are serious performance tires for serious driving.
It also has wider wheel arches in the front and back, nearly 2 inches wider than the standard IONIQ 5. And Brian, you really need that to contain those huge 275 millimeter tires. And in keeping with its track-oriented nature, the 5N rides lower than the standard IONIQ 5.
This gives you less drag and a lower center of gravity for better handling.
Now moving to the front, you'll see an N-exclusive front bumper that extends nearly an inch out more than your standard IONIQ 5 with a contrasting black finish. And with aero enhancements, active air flaps, and an open mesh lower grille, everything combines for a sleeker, more aggressive look. All right, Brian, I think it's about time that we take a look at IONIQ 5N's amazing interior, which gives a focused driving environment maximized for extreme driving. Now, the first thing I notice are the prominent display screens that give you access to a ton of info at a glance. There's a digital instrument cluster and navigation touchscreen. Both measure 12.3 inches and have a seamless design. Starting with the instrument cluster, it's fully digital and customizable. In addition to speed, it gives you access to info like drive mode, motor and battery temperature, battery charge and range, steering and suspension settings, torque distribution, and lap times. And with E-Shift engaged, it even displays a simulated tachometer.
This really adds to the realistic look and feel, making it feel like you're actually shifting gears in a gas-powered car.
Now moving to the 12.3-inch center touchscreen. Now this is where you're going to activate and control most of your N functions, like distributing the torque between the axles. This is also where you'll be able to customize those drive modes with different settings available for motor response, steering, suspension, electronic limited slip differential, stability control, and N-Active Sound Plus. You'll also have a number of racetracks preloaded, including Road America, Sebring, Sonoma, and Watkins Glen, just to name a few. You'll also have access to lap and acceleration times and a G-force meter display.
I love that I can track my lap times, but I especially love the G-force meter.
I bet you do, Brian. Now moving on to our advanced and leather-wrapped steering wheel with multiple customizable N buttons, which you can use to either on the left activate your N driving mode or N custom 1 mode, or on the right activate and change certain N settings, like for E-Shift. There's a drive mode button to toggle between different drive modes, and an NGB button. Now that's going to activate that N-Grin boost and give you that increased torque and horsepower for 10 seconds.
And I love that they named it N-Grin boost, because you really cannot not grin when you hit it.
I mean, I just grinned right there thinking about it, Brian. Now, while I'm sitting up here, I just have to mention how comfortable and supportive these front seats are. There are N lightweight sport bucket seats made of H-Tech seating surfaces with Alcantara inserts. They're both heated and ventilated up front and have that signature N illuminated logo.
And that lateral support is key to keeping you connected to the road or the racetrack.
Now, one of my favorite features inside this vehicle is also going to be those paddle shifters. Now, these are going to allow you to simulate the experience of shifting for yourself when E-Shift is engaged. And even when E-Shift is off, you can control the level of regenerative braking to keep your battery all charged up. Now, along with all those great features, you're also going to get some standard IONIQ 5 features that made it such an amazing and award-winning vehicle, like Bose Premium Audio, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, ambient mood lighting with 64 colors available, and the ability to synchronize that color with your speed, and dual automatic temperature control with driver-only mode. Now, we can't talk about an EV without talking about charging. With access to the ultra-fast 800-volt, 350-kilowatt DC chargers, you're going to get some extremely fast charge times, like the ability to go from 10 to 80% in as little as 18 minutes. Now, you're also going to get a lot of great technology like Hyundai Digital Key 2. Now, this is where you can actually unlock your doors and start your motor all by using your smartphone. It works with compatible iPhones and Apple Watches, as well as with compatible Android models. You can even share a copy of your digital key to another driver's compatible smartphone and use it with that compatible device right in your pocket. You'll also get Blue Link Plus, where you can remotely access your IONIQ 5N from your compatible smartphone. And do things like lock and unlock your doors, remote climate control, find out where you last parked, and more. All at no additional monthly cost. And finally, over-the-air software updates that automatically download and install maps, infotainment, and more. And since you're getting a Hyundai, you're also getting a suite of standard Smart Sense safety features to help keep you and your passengers protected. These include forward collision avoidance assist, lane keeping assist, blind spot view monitor, surround view monitor, blind spot collision avoidance assist, and advanced rear occupant alert, just to name a few. And to keep you going on the road for a long time with confidence, you got America's best warranty. That's a 10-year, 100,000-mile power limited warranty, a 5-year, 60,000-mile new vehicle limited warranty, and a 10-year, 100,000-mile electric battery limited warranty. And since Hyundai produces its own advanced high-strength steel, IONIQ 5N is both very strong and very, very light. So there you have it. The absolutely incredible 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 5N with 641 horsepower, plenty of end performance tech at your fingertips, and multiple drive modes that allow you to dial it out for the road or the track. This is one serious performance machine that really gets your heart racing.
I agree. This is a special car that's going to put an incredible amount of performance in the hands of enthusiasts.
All right, Brian. So as promised, let's get back to that video of Mason Filippi tearing it up at the track. Now, you're going to see how he really attacks the corners, including that infamous corkscrew, which, Brian, is even more impressive considering the fact that Laguna Seca is one of the most competitive tracks there on the IMSA circuit. Let's check it out.